Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
We had a team lunch on Friday and unfortunately got the shocking news that a good friend of the show, Johnny Ruffo, had passed away. 7 years ago, he got that diagnosis of brain cancer and did very well. I think he was told that it only sort of had three years to live.
It was really confronting. I remember seeing, 7 years ago when he put that image on Instagram for the first time, and it was a shot of his head stapled back together after an emergency operation. And I think what happened was that he had a terrible headache. He couldn't get rid of it. Tani, his girlfriend, was at home with him, and basically, if she hadn't have called the ambulance that night, then Johnny wouldn't have had the 7 years that he did, left on this earth. It's really confronting. But I remember when he came in the first time and we spoke about it, he said, mate, I'm okay. And his mum was here with him. She came in as well. And he said, I'm okay. It's Mum who's worried. Mum's the one panicking. And I said, I can imagine as a parent.
And Tani as well. Tani you can imagine what she's going through. And
by his side the entire time. Tani, what a beautiful girl. What a great relationship. And he's a mad Bombers man, so I would see him at the footy all the time and we'd talk footy. But I remember having a really special day with him when I did a Hello Fresh commercial with Lynn McGranger and Johnny Ruffo.
That's right.
And Johnny, which was awesome. Johnny, the idea was I was in the kitchen with Lynn and then Johnny had to entertain the kids. So Ted and Jack are just wrestling him to the ground in the living room. They're throwing around pillows and fighting on the couch, and it was just a great moment, which I looked back on last night actually because it was on Instagram. We'll have to get that up again. But what I like about Johnny and what I think was such an appealing characteristic of Johnny was he was very brave, not only in his fight but in his endeavours and his career. He took on anything. And he had a great little ego. He was cheeky, he was young,
cheeky and adventurous. That's what I remember. I only worked with him when I went back to Home and Away as a guest in 2013 and having been there before and then coming back, I thought, Who's this guy? This cheeky kid
with a bit of spark.
He wasn't a wanker about it. That's the thing. Like, he could make anyone in the room smile. And, if you hadn't met him for the first time, I know a lot of people would have gone, well, this kid's a bit full on. But he really, you warmed to him really, really quickly.
Very likeable.
This is the last time that we had a chat to Johnny, and this is what he had to say.
When people say, do everything you can, all you can do is follow the doctor's orders.
Of course.
You do your chemo, your medication, and everything else you can.
Johnny, can I ask, are you angry?
There's so many emotions that I feel about it. I'm angry, I'm sad. There's so many feelings that are just balled up that sometimes you don't know what to feel. But there are still days where I'm happy. Like Tani and I, we find the goodness and the joy in every little moment that we can. The best advice I could give is to surround yourself with an incredible support network. It's the first thing you need to do. And for me, initially, that's Tani. She's number one. Like, for me, she has been the rock at the centre of my universe. Like, she's the sun. And I'm like Pluto, which is not even a planet anymore, is it?
You're not that old. But see, you know what? Here's a beautiful little thing for you, though. Johnny rocks up this morning. He goes, I've got an Uncle Toby's muesli bar in my pocket. He goes, what the hell is this doing here? That's your breakfast for this morning. That's your beautiful wife giving you breakfast because you haven't eaten this morning, have you?
No. So you're supposed to eat when you have your medication,
right? And
she gave me this Uncle Toby's, but she's like, babe, just make sure you eat it before you go on air. She's, she knows so very much about everything. Like, without her, I would be screwed.
She's a superstar.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, beautifully spoken, Johnny, and I love hearing the love for Tani, and we think of Tani and Johnny's family at this moment with his passing on Friday, but we thank him for the great times.
He'll definitely be making a dent up in heaven, that's for sure.
He'll be dancing all the way.
He'll be making his presence as we speak.
On the microphone, not afraid of it, was he?
Not afraid of us, mate. He's a good man, Johnny Ruffo.
Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.